Hello everybody. Welcome to Blitz Recaps, wishing everyone an amazing day. Today I am going to recap the movie Distant. So sit back, have some popcorn, and enjoy the movie. The movie opens with a shot of a spaceship. In the spaceship, a man named Andy is sleeping. Meteorites are shown flying into space, while one is about to hit the spaceship. Camera then pans on Andy. His wife and son are smiling, telling him to wake up. Andy slowly wakes up and sees a machine, starts to print a new suit on his body. The machine tells its name is Leonard and informs Andy that spaceship is about to crash. Andy does not understand that what is happening. Later on, he is thrown into the voids of space in his space pod. The space pod starts heading to crash on an unknown planet. Leonard tells him to brace for impact. Then the pod crashes onto the planet. Andy looks out of the pod and sees the mysterious planet. He pulls the exit lever, but his pod is too damaged from crash landing. He then tries to break open the glass with his feet, but still couldn't do it. He uses a fire extinguisher to finally break the glass. When he tries to exit the pod, it falls down, and his suit gets badly damaged, causing it to leak oxygen. Andy barely repairs his suit when less than half of oxygen is remaining. He finally exits his space pod and sees spaceship crashing onto planet. The impact is so devastating that it knocks him down. Leonard then informs him that they have crashed on some other mysterious planet. He stumbles upon the debris of some other space pod and runs towards it. Inside, he sees some equipment. Just when he tries to pick up, suddenly a dead body comes right in front of him, hanging upside down. He is terrified that he may be the only survivor left without any help. Andy scans a distant place hoping to find someone and decides to go there. He makes it there through intense storm. He suddenly sees someone. He becomes very happy to finally find someone alive. He asks Stranger for help. Stranger tells that his name is Dwayne, and he is also happy to see someone alive as well. Dwayne then tells Andy that it will take a minimum of 18 months to send a signal to Earth. Dwayne and Andy get in some sort of argument, and Dwayne pushes Andy, and his feet accidentally hit a power cable, causing the generator to turn off. Dwayne is suddenly taken by an alien. When Andy was restarted the generator, Dwayne is nowhere to be seen. Andy then sends the message to Earth. Andy suddenly reaches a cliff and Leonard tells him this is the only way forward. Andy becomes very angry and hopeless that he is never going to find a way out from here. Suddenly, Andy hears someone talking and asking for help. Andy becomes very hopeful and tries to find the signal's location. Andy tells Stranger his name, and girl tell her name, Naomi. She informs him that she is stuck in her pod, and everyone she tried to contact is dead. Naomi begs Andy to find her, and Leonard tells him that path is extremely dangerous and does not recommend that course of action, and chances are dangerously low. Naomi assures Andy that she has enough oxygen for both of them. Andy finally agrees and decides to find her. While trying to find Naomi in the darkness of an unknown planet, Andy suddenly hears something. A rock hit his feet. Then Andy finds mysterious footsteps on the ground. When he looks around, he finds a big hole. Leonard again warns Andy that his oxygen is 27%. And it doesn't recommend this course of action. Andy disregards Leonard and continues on course. Then he hears a roar of an alien. An alien rapidly runs in front of him, making him very scared. Naomi tells that trackers in front of him are dead. Andy then sees a mysterious purple flare in the sky. And then to his horror, he sees a horrible monster right in front of him. Monster senses Andy's presence and rushes to attack him. Andy runs for his life and falls in a cave. The monster continues to chase Andy and is right above him. Andy continues to scream and run. Without looking back, he just jumps from the cave and falls down on ice. Andy unmutes his comms and tells Naomi that he was almost killed. Andy's suit starts to leak oxygen very fast. Struggling to breathe normally, he barely manages to repair the suit with oxygen dwindling to just 12%. But out of nowhere, Dwayne comms Andy that he managed to stay alive and asks for his help as monsters have outnumbered him. Andy refuses, but Naomi tells him that Dwayne has more oxygen, and that is right course of action for now. Andy rushes to help Dwayne as he is overwhelmed, running to save his fellow warrior before it's too late. Andy rushes into battlefield. He sees Dwayne gets killed by a monster. This sends shivers into Andy's spine. He runs and hides behind a space pod. Andy sees the monster devouring the remains of Dwayne's body and realizes that there are not one but two of those monsters. Naomi tells Andy that she is trying to find for a way out. Just when Andy was about to be ripped away by two monsters, suddenly one space pod receives a comms request. The other monster looked for Andy, but he managed to escape. Hiding in another space pod, Naomi accidentally sends comm to a dead body right near to Andy, alerting the monsters to his location. Naomi thought something genius at the nick of time and sent comms to all the space pods, giving a good opportunity for Andy to escape. Andy makes a run for his life, with two monsters chasing him. While running away from the monsters, Andy falls down and tries to crawl away, but to his surprise, monsters don't attack him and crawl away. Andy tells Naomi, and she needs to try to run away, even though her leg is stuck. Naomi tells Andy that her leg infection can kill her if that spreads. Andy comes across an area where he sees seemingly beautiful purple fireflies. One firefly comes near Andy, and after some observation, all fireflies start to attack him. Andy hears a monster and realizes that something is off. Naomi informs Andy that he is only one click away from her. Suddenly a monster emerges from beneath the surface and starts pulling Andy in. While getting pulled in, Andy tells Naomi that there is nothing he could do now, and Naomi, in order to calm him down, asks him to tell her about his son. Andy gets pulled in, while Naomi couldn't do anything for him. While inside the monster, Andy asks Leonard for help, as he is having a heart attack. Leonard advises Andy that he is going to use high electric shock. Leonard proceeds through. This electric shock fries the monster as it spits Andy outside again. Andy sees the monster still chasing him, and he tries to escape through a cave. The cave is full of fireflies who immediately turn red and start attacking him. Andy barely makes through the cave alive. Leonard warns Andy that his oxygen is dangerously low, and he cannot make to Naomi. He should head for spaceship wreck, as there is oxygen there. Andy refuses and tells Leonard to stay on course. Andy finally reaches near Naomi's space pod. Running to save Naomi, she tells him that he has less than 1% oxygen left. Gasping for air, Andy falls down right near the space pod, and everything starts to blur, while Naomi watches Andy's location on her screen, hoping that he could finally make it to her. And there is Andy, outside of her space pod, coming to rescue her by defying all the odds. Andy tries to break the glass, but Naomi's pod opens when she pulls the lever. Naomi immediately gives oxygen to Andy from her suit. Andy tries to free her leg by hand, then Andy picks up a lever and finally frees her leg. Although her leg is hurting, but they are finally close to each other. They retrieve the essentials and ready to leave. Andy helps her to exit the space pod. Naomi thanks Andy to save her life, and they start reminiscing. But suddenly, to their horror, they see monsters all over them. They make a run for their lives, aiming for the spaceship. While running, they both fall down because of oxygen cable linking them, just when they are about to be eaten alive by monsters. She fires her flare gun, distracting the monster, and she does the same with other one, giving them a chance to reach the spaceship. They finally manage to enter the spaceship. Naomi tries to enter the code for the door to shut it, just when they were about to be attacked. Naomi manages to shut down the door, killing a monster by cutting its neck. While entering in giant spaceship, they find out that cargo door is blocked. So, they enter through an alternate door. They discover that cargo area of the spaceship has stabilized atmosphere. They suddenly find blood trail on the floor. When they follow it, they discover a monster lurking inside. They barely avoid the gaze of the monster. Just when they are about to run away, another monster, Queen, comes down from the nest and starts chasing them. Desperate to run away, they both get stuck inside an airlock door. Naomi tells Andy that this door is only accessible from outside. Andy desperately picks up a metal rod and tries to break open the other door. Naomi tells Andy to stop and tells him there is no way out. Andy orders Leonard to play the memory bank of his family on the day they both died. Andy blames their death on himself, but Naomi tells him that he is the only reason that she is alive. They both cry and hug each other, but miraculously, Naomi finds a firefly attached to the backpack of Andy. Just when the monster was about to attack them, Naomi threw firefly at the monster, blinding it temporarily. This gave them the opportunity to unlock the other door and run, but they suddenly reach a ledge, stopping them. With Monster in hot pursuit, Andy desperately tries to unlock the door from the other side. Naomi jumps down, pulling Andy with her. Just when Monster was about to attack them, Andy picks up a sticky bomb and throws at it. This allows them to run away for the time being. Desperate to run away, they both try their best, but the monster suddenly jumps from above, causing them to fall down. Monster runs to attack Naomi. She tells Andy to find a way to kill it. Andy desperately tries to look for a way. Suddenly he looks at the pods and thoughts of an idea to crush the monster beneath it. Andy runs for the pod and tells Naomi to bring the monster to him. Andy finally reaches the control panel. Naomi tells him the passcode, but then the monster finally strikes Naomi, knocking her away. Andy quickly shutdowns the power to save her, as Monster cannot see in the dark. Monster still tries to find Naomi. She hides behind a glass as the monster comes just outside. Naomi sees this terrifying sight, but surprisingly Monster cannot see her and goes away. Naomi suddenly sees something and has an idea. Andy asks Leonard to start the pod, but Leonard explains that the power is cut off, and the only way to launch the pod is from inside. Andy quickly gets in. Leonard tells him that starting it will short-circuit the chip, killing it. Suddenly, Andy sees Naomi running, covered in lights, luring the monster toward the pod. Leonard says goodbye to Andy. As the pod countdown begins, Andy sees Naomi running below. He launches the pod. He feels this moment like the car accident of his family. The pod finally slams into the monster with a thunderous impact. Naomi sees Andy's body after the devastating impact. She cries and begs Andy to open his eyes. She looks at him, her voice trembling, and says, "I have no one left but you." Andy finally opens his eyes, and the moment Naomi sees him, she laughs through her sobs. She helps him get back up. They finally see golden sunlight pouring through a window. Andy hears Leonard's familiar voice, assuring him that he survived the short circuit. They gaze into each other's eyes, drawn closer yet hesitant. Andy slowly reaches for Naomi's hand, and as their fingers touch, they gently hold on, finding comfort in each other. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.